بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم علمنا ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. Inshallah, tonight we are going to start a new book called Sharh Sunnah. Sharh Sunnah, meaning the explanation of Sunnah or the clarification of Sunnah by one of the Imams of Islam by the name of Imam Al Barbahari, who died in 329 after Hijrah, which is about 1,150 years ago, around there. But inshallah, before we get into we're going to discuss the brief biography of this Imam. And the book is based on the explanation of our Sheikh Salih Fawzan, Hafidahullah. And before we get to this, the reason for this book, the reason for picking this book is the fact that we are in a time where the Sunnah is becoming discreet, or people are not, a lot of people are not, they don't know what it means to be a Sunni. They don't know the meaning of Sunnah. The general understanding of a person understanding Sunnah is that I pray my Sunnah, I pray my 2 rakah before Fajr, or 2 rakah or 4 rakah before Dhuhr, or 2 rakah after Dhuhr. This is the general understanding of Sunnah when we talk to a lot of people, or I fast Mondays and Thursdays. Of course, no doubt, it's part of the Sunnah, no doubt. But we're going to talk about how is Sunnah understood generally by the people of the past. So Imam Al Barbahari, rahimahullah, is one of he took from the student of Imam Ahmed. He took from the student of Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal, rahimahullah. So inshallah, we'll get into the biography of this Imam. His name is Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan bin Ali Al-Khalaf Al-Barbahari. So his kunya is Abu Muhammad, and his son's name is Muhammad, and his name is Al-Hassan, the son of Ali, the son of Al-Khalaf Al-Barbahari. The scholars mentioned that Barbahari is a type of medicine. It's a type of medicine that back then they used to bring from Al-Hind, meaning from India back then. So some of the scholars mentioned that he used to involve in buying and selling this medicine as a means of trade, or he used to use it. The scholars mentioned that, so that they gave him this name, Al-Barbahari. Al-Barbahari. So the man was born 253 after Hijrah. He was born 253 after Hijrah. So, like I mentioned, he took from those who took from Imam Ahmed. And it was mentioned that this man was in terms of knowledge, he accomplished a lot. He excelled in terms of knowledge. And from during this time, and this will help us to understand this book, because during this time, the people of Sunnah were widespread. The people of Sunnah were widespread. And of course, he came after the trial of Imam Ahmed. Imam Ahmed, he went through the trial where he was beaten. He was beaten and he was put in jail. Right? So, and the student that studied with Imam Ahmed, Imam Al Barbahari took from them. He took from them. Alaykum salam katu. So, it was mentioned that from the people of the time of Imam Al Barbahari are Imam Ibn Majah. Ibn Majah was one of the people that have the 6 books of Hadith. Right? We have the Kutub Sitta. Right? He was during his time of Imam Ibn Majah. And also Abu Dawood as-Sijistani. Abu Dawood, of course, Imam Dawood is also from the people of Book of Sitta.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Let's wait, inshallah.
قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر.
So you say the student that was taught by Imam Ahmed taught
الله أكبر.
Yeah, Imam Al-Barbahari is it took from the student of Imam Ahmed.
from the student.
الله
Yeah.
أكبر.
Yeah.
What you told?
الله أكبر.
Ibn Majah, you said?
It was during the time of Ibn Majah and Abu Dawood. So it was during the same time period. It's like saying that we are from the same time period. Now, the same generation.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. الله أكبر. سمع الله من حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله من حمده. الله أكبر.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
طيب. So we mentioned that Imam Al Barbahari, he took knowledge from those who took knowledge from Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal rahimahullah. And of course he has students, and he mentioned his teachers, but inshallah we're not gonna be busy.
So he pretty much follows the Hanbali method.
In terms of the madhab, now he followed
I
the
never finished the whole book. I finished
Nah.
like halfway through.
now. And I would recommend, inshallah, if the brothers can get that book, just that it will be easy to follow along. You know, because a lot of the books in Arabic, sometimes you don't find them translated in English. But that one is one of those. I don't know where you got it from. It's been a while, right? It's a long time.
No, this is like my fourth one. Because I gave one away. I lost one. Gave one. Yeah, I had this book for years. A long time. I never got a chance to read the whole book.
Now, the reason why the book is important.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Now,
قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر.
this is color of it. Inshallah, we'll talk about it, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar.
But the point is that
Allahu Akbar.
this book is important, like I mentioned, because we are in a time where the understanding of Sunnah is not clear to people. And a lot of people have gone astray. A lot of people have gone astray. I'm talking about locally here. Because of they follow people that they thought were upon the Sunnah, but they were not upon the Sunnah. And inshallah, as we go, we'll give an example. So much so that some of the people, they went to jail. One of the people got alive in prison because of following the way of the Khawarij, the terrorists, because that is not from the way of the Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It happened back in early 2000s, 2005, especially when the September 11th situation happened. Right? And you were following, they will have colors who were saying that people should go in with jihad. And of course, there are conditions of jihad and the condition of how to establish it. But because of those people, they're not following the Sunnah. And from not following the Sunnah is the fact that people, when you live in a land like this, when you live in a land, whether you're born or when you come to this country, you sign an agreement, right? it's an agreement that you, because you're Muslim, right? That you will not do anything that opposes the law of the land, as long as it's not in a position. Come on, Kitab and Sunnah, right? So Muslim, that's the understanding. When you live in a country, right? Whether you're born or you are migrate, that you come there. The agreement is that you're gonna follow the law, but as a Muslim, as long as it's not opposition to the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of Rasul. This is how do you understand it?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
طيب.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
No. طيب. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. No problem, inshallah. طيب. So, continuing, that a lot of people have gone astray when it comes to the understanding of Sunnah. And it is so important, especially the times that we're living, to understand how the people of the past understood Sunnah. So I'm going to just move forward because this explanation of Sheikh Fawzan is very detailed, and we can't go through every sentence. We just want to take some of the important stuff. So Sheikh Fawzan is going to explain. Actually, this book, when I was in Saudi, this book is explained by Sheikh Fawzan. Then my Sheikh Ali Al-Haddadi, Hafidahullah, he explained it. And this is how the scholars, they do things. They take the book of those who came before them, and they were explaining. And if you have someone that's even bigger in knowledge, you follow his explanation in explaining the book. So, Sheikh Fawzan, Hafidahullah, may Allah preserve him, he said that the Sunnah, he said the people of the past, they used to call the book of Aqidah, Sunnah. The book of Aqidah, they used to call it Sunnah. Of course, Sunnah, what do we understand as Sunnah in general? What's the meaning of Sunnah? The way of the Prophet Sallallahu. Now, the general understanding, and that's part of that. Some of the different fields have the definition of Sunnah. The general understanding of what Sunnah is the way of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But the definition you just mentioned right now is the understanding of the people of Hadith. That is the understanding. The people of Aqidah, the scholars of Aqidah, they understand Sunnah to means what? What is opposition to Bid'ah. Right? And you have the scholars of Usul al-Fiqh. They understand Sunnah to mean what is not obligatory. Okay, it's my Sunnah, meaning that it's not wajib. So they have different understanding of Sunnah. But even though it's not a different understanding, but this is their field, that's related to their field. That's how they define Sunnah. But the understanding of Sunnah in general means that we have the Prophet ﷺ. But the scholars of Aqidah, and this is what Imam Barbahari is talking about here, Aqidah, they would say Sunnah, they will name their book Sunnah. Like Usul al-Sunnah by Imam Ahmed. Inshallah, as time goes on, we'll study that book as well too, inshallah. It's Usul, meaning it's talking about Aqidah. Even the son of Imam Ahmed, he has a book called As-Sunnah. Abdullah ibn Ahmed al-Hanbal. He has a Sunnah a book called Sunnah. Also, they call the books of Aqidah Al-Iman. Right? Iman. From then, Kitab Al-Iman it's in Sahih Al-Bukhari. Sahih Al-Bukhari book, as in Sahih Al-Bukhari, there's a chapter called the Book of Iman. Actually, it's I believe it's first or second chapter. And in Sahih Muslim as well too has a book called Kitab Al-Iman in the book. Also, the books of the scholars of the past, they will name books of Aqidah as Sharia. As Sharia, they call it Sharia. There's one of the Imam Al-Hajurri, he has a book called As Sharia. Also, they will call Aqidah, they will call Sunnah, they will say Tawheed also is another word they will use. Kitab al-Tawheed by Ibn Khuzaymah. Or they will use the word al-Aqidah. Right? Al-Aqidah. Okay, Aqidah al-Wasitiyya by Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. So, and so on and so forth. So, the Shaykh mentioned that some of the people, the Shaykh mentioned that there's nothing that can gather the Muslims together. Because Muslims, we're going through a lot of stuff nowadays. And nothing will unify the Muslims except the Aqidah. This is through it that Allah will give victory to the Ummah. If a person will not be upon the correct Aqidah, it's in great danger. Because Allah will give victory to those who are upon the correct Aqidah. Tayyib. I don't want to be too long-winded regarding this. So we're going to jump into the chapter of the book. Imam Barbahari started by saying, Alhamdulillahi ladhi hadana lil Islam. He said, all praise to Allah who guided us to Islam. Wa manna alayna bihi, and who has blessed us, who have blessed our favors with Islam. Wa akhrajna fi khayr al-ummah, and he brought us from the best of nations. Islam is the best thing that Allah has blessed us with. Islam. It's not, being guided to Islam is not due to how you're smart or how you're able to figure out, if Islam is true or not. But rather, Allah is the one who favors us with Islam. Allah has favored Islam. So Imam Al Barbahari mentioned that Allah brought, wa akhrajna fil khayr al-ummah, and Allah brought it from the best of nations. The Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu is the best of nations. Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Imran, kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat an-nas. He said that Allah said you are the best of nations that brought to mankind. Islam, the Muslims are the best of ummah. The best of ummah. So the Shaykh continues, said, فنسأله التوفيق لما يحب ويرضى وحفظ مما يكره ويسخط. He said, we ask him for success in what he loves and what he's pleased with, and we ask him to protect us, to protect us from what he hates and or what angers him. Type. So he mentioned the first part. He says, قال رحمه الله. So Imam Barbahari says, no. He said, اعلموا أن الإسلام السنة والسنة هي الإسلام ولا يكون أحدهما إلا بآخر. Imam Barbahari said that, know that Islam is Sunnah and the Sunnah is Islam, and one cannot be established without the other. So Islam is Sunnah, and the Sunnah is Islam, and one cannot be established without the other. Because we have people that reject the Sunnah. They claim they are Muslims, but reject the Sunnah. Who are they? Do you know who they are? Quraniyun, yeah, the people of Quran, yes. Those who reject the Sunnah. They say, you know what? Quran is sufficient for us. As for the Sunnah, we don't know if we don't know if they're authentic. We can't, there's no proof that, they're from Prophet Sallallahu. And somebody that's giving this doubt in this time, who is that person this time? Somebody that is known. That's Al-Qadi. Al-Qadi is he's the one. He's also he mentioned that the Sunnah, there's doubt about it. And we have people in this local community, right, that are working with him. And they keep quiet regarding him. They keep quiet about him. He not only about Sunnah, he put doubt about Quran as well too. But they're working with him. But as time goes on, those people eventually going to be won against. So the people as regard to Sunnah, they have three types. Those, and by the way, the Prophet he mentioned this. He says there's going to come people. They're going to say that whatever you find in the book, whatever Quran says halal, we're going to make it halal. And whatever Quran says haram, we're going to make it haram. As far as Sunnah, and the Prophet said, Ala inni utitu al-Quran wa mithlahu ma'a. The Prophet mentioned hadith that I've been given Quran and what is similar to it. I've been given the Quran and what is similar to it. So a person coming is from the sign of people of, and this is what the Imam is going to talk about, the people, from the sign of people of innovation, of people of bid'ah, that they will reject the Sunnah. So the Imam is saying that Islam is Sunnah, and the Sunnah is Islam, and one cannot be established without the other. So there are people that already reject the Sunnah. They say, we don't want Sunnah. And there's some people that they say they ascribe to Sunnah, but they use their desire to explain the Sunnah. Those are the second categories. And you have the third categories that they accept the Sunnah. They follow the Sunnah according to way of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Not according to their desires. They follow according to the understanding of the Prophet ﷺ. So, what is definition of Islam? What is the meaning of Islam?
One way you could describe it is using the 5 pillars.
Well, pillars is not the definition. There's a definition for Islam. Okay, now, yeah. Alayhi salatu wasalam. Huh? He said that Islam is the principle of Sharia that the Prophet ﷺ brought from Allah. Yeah, now, that is it. But there's a definition, the way that the scholars describe it.
Submission to the will of Allah.
So that's yes. Also, that's part of that now. But nah,
Islam is Tawheed.
it's Tawheed. Okay, that's part of it as well. Anyone else?
Can we use that to worship Allah alone with no partners?
No, it's part of that. No,
Peace.
no, it's no peace.
No,
Huh?
no.
Peace is not, and that's the definition that people say. It's not. That's as-salam.
Islamic justice.
Huh?
Justice.
As-salam is peace. Peace. Salam. Allah salam. Allah is peace. But Islam is, the word Islam is from submission, to submit. To submit. So, the scholars, they define Islam as istislam lillahi bi-tawheed. To submit to Allah by tawheed. To submit to Allah alone, by worshiping Him alone, and not making partners with Him. This is the definition. La ilaha illallah. To worship Allah alone and not make partners. To submit to Allah alone without make partners with Him. Wa inqiyad lahu bi ta'a. And to submit to Him in obedience. So after you submit to Allah by worshiping Him alone and not making partners with Him, then the second part of that is that to submit to Him by being obedient to Him. And the third part is that وَبَرَاءَةً مِنَ الشِّرْكِ وَأَهْلِهِ, and to stay away from people of shirk and to stay away from shirk and its people. Right? Now, what does that mean to stay with Shirk and his people? To free yourself from their beliefs. Because we live in a society where shirk is kufr, disbelief, and shirk is everywhere. Right? So by being a Muslim is that you have to free yourself from those things. Because if a person does not free himself from those belief systems, it's not a Muslim. In reality, it's not a Muslim. It's not just because you pray, just because you take your shahada and you pray. If you do not, Islam comes in two parts. The two pillars of the shahada. It's negation and affirmation. Right? If you affirm and you don't negate, if you say, yeah, I bear witness that Allah is the one that deserves to worship alone, and you pray your salah, and you give zakah, and you make hajj, but you do not negate some of those disbelief things that oppose Islam, then you have, in reality, has not come up with Islam. A person has not come in Islam in reality. So, for a person to be a Muslim, he has to negate those things that oppose Islam. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِعُرْوَةٍ وُثْقَى. That whoever rejects Taghut, whoever rejects everything that is worshipped besides Allah, and believes in Allah alone, and he has grabbed onto a firm handhold that will never break. So both of those things have to come together. Our Sheikh Salih Fawzan, subhanAllah, made a statement that is amazing. He said, a person who is worshipping Allah and is the one that's committing shirk with Allah, him and a kafir, they are the same thing.
Say that again.
A person who's worshipping Allah, who claims to be a Muslim, but is committing shirk with Allah, and the one who doesn't never take a shahada, they are the same thing. Because if a person commits shirk with Allah, he nullifies his tawheed, his la ilaha illallah. He nullifies that. And Allah mentioned in the Quran, Allah mentioned in the Prophet ﷺ, He said, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَ عَمَلُكَ. Allah said in the Quran that it has been revealed to you, Muhammad, and all the messengers that came before you, that if you commit shirk with Allah, all your good deeds will be lost. And you'll be from the losers. It's not only you, Allah said, it's not only you, but all the messengers that came before you. This thing has been said to them. So a person who worships Allah, but is committing shirk with Allah, then it's as if that is not worshiping Allah. Imagine. And this is the thing, this is why Tawheed, learning Tawheed is very important. It's very, very important. Because Allah, shirk is the greatest sin that Allah does not forgive. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. Allah said, Allah does not forgive shirk that's partners set up with him, but he forgives anything that's less than that. So, going back to the definition of Islam, so Islam is to worship Allah with Tawheed and to submit to submit in obedience to Him and to stay away from shirk and its people. This is the very precise definition of Islam. Another definition of Islam is that Islam is what? The way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Islam is the way of the Prophet sallallahu. Now, so the Imam says that Islam is Sunnah and Sunnah is Islam, and both of them does not stand except both of them together. One does not stand without the other. Now let's go to Sunnah. What does it mean of Sunnah? Sunnah is what? It's also the way of the Prophet sallallahu, right? It's also the way of the Prophet sallallahu. Of course, we mentioned that different fields in Sharia have different definitions of Islam. They have different of Sunnah. The people of Usul al-Fiqh, the people in the field of Usul al-Fiqh, they will say Sunnah is what is in opposition of wajib. Right? This is not You know, just like some of us we say now, I sunnah, you know what I mean? Like it's not important. It's not wajib upon me to do it, right? But the scholars of Aqidah, in the field of Aqidah, when they talk about sunnah, they mean what is in opposition to bid'ah, right? And the definition of sunnah has come to people of hadith is that those, what has been reported from the Prophet ﷺ, from his statement and actions, and his approval. This is the definition of sunnah with the people of hadith. Type. So the Shaykh continues, he says, and the other one does not stand with the other one. The Shaykh saying that, he says, يعني الإسلام هو الطريقة التي جاء بها الرسل عليهم السلام عليه الصلاة والسلام. The Shaykh is saying that Islam now is explaining Islam from a more deeper understanding. He said that Islam is what all of the prophets came with, the way of all the prophets. He said, وَكُلُّ الرُّسُلِ جَاءُوا بِالْإِسْلام. He said, all the prophets came with Islam. فَكُلُّ النَّبِي دَاء إِلَى اللَّهِ. He said, all of the prophets called to Allah. وَجَاءَ بِشَرِيَةٍ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. And they came with Sharia from Allah. And that is Islam, the Shaykh says. And he says, فإذا نسخت كان يعمل بالناسخ وهو الإسلام. He says that every time a messenger comes, right, and another messenger follows up, the Islam of the messenger that came before is abrogated, right? And the new message that's taken over now is now the new Islam, right? So you have, you know, when before Isa alayhi salam, right? Jesus is the one that came for. At the time, those who were around, right? That was Islam they were practicing then. But when the Prophet ﷺ came, that became abrogated. The Sharia of Isa alayhi salam becomes abrogated. Now the new Islam is not the Islam of the Prophet ﷺ.
Good question.
No.
With that said, so you know how they say like you have like the Christians and the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time of Isa alayhi salam, they were Muslim.
You're Muslim, yeah?
You shouldn't refer to them as the Christians.
La.
Like that.
No.
At the time of Musa, they were Muslim. Now,
They were Muslim now. They were Muslim now. Of course, they were Jews in terms of their lineage, right? Mm-hmm. But those who were following.
so that's only because of like the bloodline.
Because of the bloodline, yes.
Religion.
Because not the religion.
Okay.
Right. It's because of the blood, not the religion. So, once the new prophet comes around, the whole religion, the whole Sharia that came before becomes expired, if you want to put it. It becomes expired, and then whatever the new prophet comes with becomes what is Islam now. So the Shaykh continues, says,
question. The two Torah and Injil expired too?
okay, as far as Torah and Injil, it was not totally abrogated when they come, because you have Torah, right, and you have Injil. Injil, there was extension of it. It was extension of Torah. It was extension. There were some things that were made that were not allowed for them. In the Torah, they were allowed in Injil. And Allah mentioned this in Surah Al...
Torah, believe Injil. Torah follow Injil, you say?
Yeah. No. Injil come after Torah. Injil was given to Musa. Torah is the first, yes.
Whatever Torah say, Injil believe that too?
Yes.
And whatever Injil say, Muslim believe too?
Say it again?
Whatever Torah say, Injil say, Muslim connected too.
Yeah, but there were things that there was a slight difference. There was an addition in Torah, but generally it's basically the same thing. But there were additional inclusion that was not in the Torah that was in Injil. Because it was actually mentioned in Surah Al-Imran. It mentioned that when Isa alayhi salam came, that I came with some of the things that Allah mentioned regarding that I came with something that was you were prohibited from, that now is permissible for you. In Surah Al-Imran was mentioned in there. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي حُرِّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ, that some of the things that you are make haram for you was make permissible now as a lot.
Like the drink was permissible in Torah.
Wallahi, I don't know the details of that. I don't know what all those things was mentioned, but it was so mentioned generally in the Quran. It was mentioned generally in the Quran.
When
Now,
Islam come, they was drinking, and Prophet told them stop drinking.
I don't know. Well, the people, I mean, the Arabs didn't have any deen. They didn't have any religion back then. They didn't have any religion per se. Of course, it was mentioned that the cousin of Khadija was on the religion of those who follow the Jesus alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam. The Nawfal, it was mentioned in Sahih Al-Barbahari that he was following the religion of Isa alayhi salam, right? And he mentioned about Prophet sallam that you were mentioned in the book, and he was so old that he said if I wasn't so old, I would have assisted you. He said you have the alaykum salam wa He said your people they're gonna kick you out. Because when he started when he was in the cave of Hira, he was shaking, and he ran back home. He went back to Khadija radiallahu anha, and she said, "I'm gonna go talk to my cousin. We heard this story before, right? Yeah. I'm gonna take you to my cousin, and I'm gonna find out, right? Ibn Ammi, call him Ibn Ammi, my cousin basically. So he said, I'm gonna find out. And he went to Nawfal. He was reading Injil. He said, you have the sign of the prophethood. You have the sign of the prophethood. He said, your people are going to kick you out. The person like, oh, my people are going to kick me out, because he didn't know it was he just getting all these revelations. He said, your people are going to kick you out. But if I was able to live long enough, I will assist you. I will help you, right? So anyway, right, let's move on, inshallah. The Shaykh says, لا يقوم الإسلام إلا بالسنة. He says Islam cannot be established without the Sunnah. ولا تقوم السنة إلا بالإسلام. And the Sunnah cannot be established. فالذي يدعي الإسلام ولا يعمل بالسنة أي طريقة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس بمسلم. Say one who claim Islam and does not act with the Sunnah and implement the Sunnah, it's not a Muslim. It's not a Muslim. It says والذي يعمل بالسنة ولا يسلم لله. Whoever acts according to the Sunnah but does not submit to Allah, ليس بمسلم وإن عرف السنة. He says he's not a Muslim even if he knows the Sunnah. Say فلا بد من الجمع بينهما. Say but it's a must that a person combine between both of them. طيب. I'm moving on now. So now the Sheikh is building. Is giving us explanation of what is the meaning of, what is the definition of Sunnah. We say Islam is Sunnah and Sunnah is Islam. None can be accepted without the other. And he says, moving on now, it says, فَمِنَ السُنَّةِ لُزُومُ الجَّمَاعَةِ. And from the Sunnah is to hold on to the Jama'ah. From the Sunnah is to hold on to the Jama'ah. فَمَنْ رَغِبَ غير الجماعة وفارقها فقد خلع ربقة الإسلام من عنقه وكان ضالا مضلا. He said that from the Sunnah is to hold on to Jama'ah, and whoever deserted or left the Sunnah, whoever desires other than the Sunnah, and he left the Sunnah, then he has removed the chain of Islam from his neck. Right? He has removed the chain or the noose, let's put it right. I use the word noose because There's a reason why I use the word nus. Why? Because we are the servant of Allah. We are the slave of Allah, right? And Allah Azza wa Jalla, we submit to Allah, right? And as a slave, we are bound by the commands of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So he said, whoever desires under the Sunnah and departs from it, then he has removed the chain of Islam from his neck. وَكَانَ ضَالًّا مُضِلًّا, and then he has gone astray. He has gone astray. The Shaykh says, explaining what is Sunnah, he says, فَمِنَ السُنَّةِ لُزُومَ جَمَاعَةٍ. He says, from the Sunnah to hold on to Jama'ah. It's a Jama'at al-Muslimin, meaning that the Jama'ah of the Muslims. The Jama'ah of the Muslims. وَالْمُرَادْ بِالْجَمَاعَةِ. He said, the intent by the Jama'ah here, al-Muslimin الَّذِينَ عَلَى الْحَقِّ. The Muslims that are upon the truth.
Meaning their belief.
They are upon the truth in their belief, meaning that what we talk about, going back to Sunnah and Islam Sunnah. But of course, what the definition of is going to come. The entire book is about giving us what are the things that are considered Sunnah. Right? It's going to go just like Kitab al-Tawheed. Right? It goes into details of things that are considered from the Sunnah. So now and right now, he's just laying the foundation of what is intended by Sunnah, what is intended by Islam, what is intended by Jama'ah, so that we have understanding. So he's saying that, so Jama'ah is those who are upon the truth. So those who are upon the truth. He said, أما الجماعات التي ليست على الحق فهذا لا تسمى الجماعة الحقيقية. He says, as for those who, as for all these groups that they are not upon the truth, we don't say they are from the Jama'ah. Right? They are not the Jama'ah. He says, فَالْمُرَالْ بِالْجَمَاعَ هُنَا هُمْ اللَّهِ. He said, the meaning of Jama'ah is the people of the truth. وليس من لازم ذلك أن يكون كثيرين. He said, it's not obligatory that there are many of them. Right? It is not obligatory that people are upon, there are many. He said, بل لو كان واحدا على الحق فإنه يسمى جماعة. He said, rather if it's one person who is upon the truth, it's called a Jama'ah. Jama'ah, of course, we mean that the group, right? Jama'ah is called, but if it's only one person who's upon the truth, then he is called Jama'ah. Right. So inshallah, I think we'll stop here due to the salah. But the next thing the Sheikh is going to mention, before we decide, is going to, from the foundation of Jama'ah, he says, is from what the Jama'ah is built upon, whom Ashab Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the foundation of Jama'ah are the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the foundation of Jama'ah. Meaning that those who oppose them, they are upon falsehood. And those upon what they are upon, those are the people of the truth. So inshallah we'll stop there. We'll continue inshallah next Friday. هذا والله أعلم صلى الله عليه وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. بارك الله فيكم.